Hey everyone, Kaiser Soze here, Maximum Carnage. And today I lost the sound on a recording I already made for an HGHB Tweaks video. I posted one earlier on Jenny, and I had another one on HGHB, and I lost it. So I am going to try this again. So the first thing, oh, actually that's just the last war. So the first thing I'm going to do is show an attack from Auntie, and this is from the war before last. So she was using hogs, giants, or healers, giants, hogs, and bowlers, the HGHB at Town Hall 9, and I'm just going to pause it so you can see the loadout. She's got one giant in already, so 12 giants, 8 whiz, 14 hogs, 4 healers, and then you're taking 2 heals and 2 rages. You could substitute one of the heals for a jump, depending upon the nature of the base and how to get in, but that's pretty standard stuff for HGHB. And you can also swap out a couple of the hogs, bringing it down to like 12, and be able to take an extra couple of wizards if you need it. So the good thing about this attack, as opposed to Jenny, is that if you get everything pushing core, you have a lot of wizards, not only to help you create a substantial funnel at the beginning, and you need them because bowlers can go all over the place, but you also have enough whiz that normally the clan castle isn't an issue, provided that you have a plan for it. So I'm just going to let it run. I'm going to 2 times it here for a second. The giants go in, the healers come on to keep those giants up. They'll stay up for a long time. Wiz are in there to set the funnel. Once the giants break through, then she's deploying the bowlers and the heroes to be able to come in. She's dropping poison as the clan castle comes out, and she's also, I'm just going to pause it again, she's got a heal and a rage spell down, and you're really wanting to catch those healers in the rage, so it's the equivalent of boosted heal. So right now I'm just going to pause it. You can see the hogs are entering, 2 minutes 13 seconds. Hogs start coming in. I'm just going to slow it down now to regular speed. So she puts in another group of hogs here on the archer tower. So I'm just going to pause again, and the third group of hogs is coming in the back. So as I pause, of her 14 hogs, she's got 9 of them in already. She started deploying them about 10 seconds earlier. The problem is that the heroes. So the enemy Barb King is there, and the enemy Barb King will just stomp on hogs, and the hogs won't attack the Barbarian King until all of the defenses on the entire map are dead. So you always, if you possibly can, would prefer to roll in hogs away from the Barbarian King and have them end at around where he is, to make sure the hogs then turn on the Barbarian King and they don't have to path all the way through his circle of influence, so to speak. So loses a couple to the spring trap, but she's put in these extra hogs, and you can see now they're all bunching up. So bunched up hogs is okay if you need to clear out lots more defenses, but she's now added more, so she only has 2 left, and it's been only about 15 to 20 seconds since she started to deploy them. Pause again. Now she's got no hogs left, and where are those hogs? Those hogs are all bunching. You can see in that one spot, and because they're bunched, they all get tagged by the giant bomb. They're all damaged, which means literally it's easy to be able to take them out. They just are a single shot away. And as the Wiz tower turns, it takes out that hog. And now she has, we pause it, 0 wizards left for cleanup, even though with HGHB you can take a lot. And she has no hogs. And hogs naturally could be put in much more slowly over a period of time as defenses are distracted. So I'm just going to speed it up all the way through. Because she's got no cleanup, she's got an archer over on this one side. Queen naturally is in great health, no issues there whatsoever. The giants are all healed up, powers through the Barbarian King. It's simply a matter of these high hit point structures at the end, so she doesn't have enough time. She runs out of time. I think this ends up being a 97 or 98%. 98, that's where it is. So we ended up having a bit of a chat where I was saying you got to be slower with the deployment of hogs. And she thought when I was talking about dumping in the hogs like that, that it was like deploying them all at once in one spot. And that's not at all what I was getting to. So with her, I just wanted the hogs to be deployed literally 3 at a time. Then you let them go. You let them work through the structure. Most importantly, you want your healers If the healers are in good shape and there's giants and bowlers are slow. Because they're so slow, it takes a while for them to work their way through the base, so give them a chance to work from one compartment to the next compartment, distracting those perimeter defenses. And only when those perimeter defenses are really solidly distracted should you be deploying hogs. Now naturally, bases change, situations change, you might always have to do stuff on the fly. But the nature of HGHB is to push things to the core, obliterate the core using bowlers, having the giants tank, and as they push through the core, leaving this big ring of perimeter defenses that you just are trickling in hogs as they are fully distracted. So she's put in a couple hogs at the top, and they had taken out that one mortar. Now she just is adding 2 more. She's adding 2 other ones here because there's this group of giants that clearly is going to be distracted for a while with the cannon and the archer. So now she's got a group of 4, loses 1 to the spring. And you can see here, I'm just going to pause it, the healers are gone. Her spells are used up with the exception of a single rage. She's only got a couple of bowlers out here, supported by the queen. Still has the abilities and stuff. But it's not like she's got this, raging attack that's left in. But because she's so much more patient with these hogs, you'll see what it does. There's a DGB set. So the double giant bombs get triggered by just a couple of hogs. She doesn't lose a pack of 8, just a few. She waits until that giant had worked its way around to distract the cannon and the Tesla. Another couple of hogs went in to be able to take care of this cannon. So look at the bottom now. She still has 6 hogs left, plus she's got 4 wizards to help clean up when the defenses are completely gone from that area. She uses the rage spell, uses the king's ability to be able to push through this final DGB set. The king takes care of the expo. She's got 6 hogs left. She drops 2 on an archer, 2 on the cannon. She still has 2 left. And now, if we take a look at the bottom, she loses the hog here, but she's got a group of hogs, still with 1 left, plus 4 whiz and 2 archers. It's easy cleanup. So 4 exit here. She gets the 100% with time left to spare, troops left over, even though the healers went down. Now you can look and say, well, the weight of that base, it was just 63,000, the defensive weight. That's not that strong. So we're going to go to our last war against FSW. So in the map, we're going to go down to Ronan's attack here. And his attack on number 1. I'm going to press pause. So you can see in the top left, the defensive weight of the base is 69. Maximum weight for a Town Hall 9 with full-on max defenses, complete lava walls and 30-30 heroes is 70. So this is only 1,000 out, with the exception of the heroes being leveled up and the remaining lava walls. This is a max defense Town Hall 9. There's nothing else to be able to upgrade on it. You can also look at the bottom. You see a pretty standard loadout here that Ronan's carrying. One thing that he did was trade off a whiz for a couple of extra archers to be able to take and create some space here. And he did that with the intent here of 2 minions, because the minions, if we take a look at the structure, you can see that the air defense can't get over to this dark barracks, and in the meantime there's nothing that's going to take out minions, so it's an easy funnel on that side. On the opposite side is an army camp, and those are natural funnels because they're 5 tiles wide, even if they're butted up against buildings, and 5 tiles is a big space. This one's much more than that. It looks like about 9 or 10 tiles, but it's 5 tiles just for that army camp. So his hero, if you look at his queen, it is Archer Queen, only level 10. Low-level heroes going on against a fully maxed Town Hall 9 in terms of defenses. And he's just basically going to follow the steps here. So single giant goes in with a space to count for spring traps or a giant bomb. All the rest of the giants go down with the 4 healers on it, and they can sit there for a long time. The funnel is immediately created by the wizards, leaving trash buildings in the middle so everything pulls. Once the CC pops, poison is laid down. He uses a raid spell on the healers to really power that stuff through the clan castle, as well as getting the wizzies enraged to make sure that the clan castle gets taken care of fast. So he's used a heal plus his second rage already. If we just stop it, look at, from the time it was right around 30%, he already had 3 of his 4 spells being used. But that's the point of HGHB, and you can see the shape here. He's got this huge hole and this huge push of troops that are going to make it to the core. So now we can take a look over here. He's just beginning to deploy his hogs. So he doesn't put 3 on this and 3 on the wizard tower and 3 on the cannon, 3 on the mortar and all this other stuff and start going around. He waits until they're really distracted by what's happening in the core, puts in a smart, a good amount of hogs, and then lets them simply do their work. You can see now these interior troops are kind of working their way around the base, followed on the outside by this group of hogs. So there's no reason to add more hogs to that group. There might be spring traps, there could be bombs, there could be anything in there. He's just letting them work. When he knows and sees that everything's getting distracted, he adds a few more hogs to the pile, keeping the old group of hogs alive. And now, if we take a look, he's put in the last ones right towards the end. There's only 2 defensive structures that are left. He's got wizards and archers now that go on the opposite side to where all of these hogs are, and they're going to start destroying structures and working their way together into the middle to be able to make sure that all the trash is cleaned up with a large amount of time. He's popped his queen ability just for the purposes of cleanup, and here we have a level 10 hero taking on a max defense hard to lure clan castle, all because of the structure and deployment. And there's nothing that's unusual about the way those troops were deployed. That's pretty standard stuff all the way through. In terms of HGHB, a pretty standard loadout. The only difference was the minions, because he could make that funnel so much easier by just using 2 of them to take out that one dark barrack. So that's where it sits. The other thing I just wanted to touch on, we've kind of merged with another clan, F. Carl, so welcome to all those guys, all you guys, if you haven't watched any of the videos before. We have had videos, though, on how to use Goho at Town Hall 9. We were a Town Hall 9 heavy clan, and it looks like we're making a transition now to the Town Hall 10, so I'm going to have to start updating a lot of the content for Town Hall 10s as I get that stuff figured out. But you can go, and take a look back. There's Govalo, which is, golems, valks, and loons, and what to look for, when to use it, why to use it. Goho, golems and hogs, what the phases of the attack are, what you're looking for. Jenny, I just posted the tweaks, even this HGHB, which is just focusing really on the deployment of hogs in it. But there is a bit of a history of some of the videos here that you might be able to take a peek at. Hopefully that can help you out. I'm not in this war, neither is any of my family, which is an unusual thing, but it looks like a great matchup. So I just wanted to touch on what the structure and the purpose kind of thing, or the intention behind our war attacks are, because there's been some discussion in chat and stuff even about whether or not people should scout or wait, all this stuff. Effectively, in a 20 versus 20 war, you can imagine, if you will, because we don't have all one Town Hall level. If we had only max Town Hall 10s up against all max Town Hall 10s, the order would matter a lot less. But for us, because we have many different Town Hall levels in here, you can imagine Gino dropping down and taking out the enemy's 11, Stank taking out the enemy's 12, MJ taking out the enemy 13, Captain taking out the enemy 14, etc. We would be able to easily do that. That means that 11 to 20 could be taken care of easily by our top 10. And then our top 10 could simply attack the equals, get 2 or 3 stars, depending upon what those levels are, and we would have a certain amount of stars to take with us for war. So the premise behind what we try to do, we don't attack equals. Anybody who's a Town Hall 9 who has level 15 heroes realistically should have a solid chance at 3-starring even a max level Town Hall 9, as I just showed with Ronan. It's certainly possible and has been done many, many, many times. So if you're one of those people that have, a Barb King and Queen, anywhere 12, 13, 14, 15, and you don't think that you can max or attack a max Town Hall 9, it just means practice and, do some challenges and get comfortable with how to deploy things. The more times you deploy it, the more times you're going, or the easier the time you're going to have when things go wrong to try to adjust to them on the fly, because that happens a lot. But when we're attacking in war, our top 10 can totally crush the bottom 10 with their first attacks, and then just look at cleaning up the top by hitting their equals. we would end up with however many stars we would end up with and go. The lower half of the attackers in war realistically don't even have to attack. But anytime anybody at the low end gets 3 stars, it literally saves one of our top 10's attacks. And by saving one of the top 10's attacks, it allows for us to cover a fail. So it's really important for people who are, lower levels, Town Hall 8s and below, to get their attacks in early, to see if there's any 3 stars, to save some of those higher end attacks. If we then cut it in half, just for the sake of argument here, and have 10 bases, say from Dax down, everybody has gone and everybody has cleared out the bottom 10. Literally, we would like then, or not from Dax down, 11 down at Diggy, but from Dax up, we could take then our top 10 and then cut that in half and say, well, the bottom 5, hey, let's get those people going. Now, because, the bottom 5, when it comes to Town Hall 9s, we shouldn't have a bottom 5. We should have people who are more comfortable with using Jenny, more people who are comfortable using HGHB, some people who are good with hogs, some people who are good with loons. And there might be bases that are in there that really suit that attack style, that makes sense for people to attack it with a specific thing that they have a preference for. So because of that, we don't like saying attack your equal or attack 2 below or 3 below. People can make up their mind, but they need to understand that attacking once and then waiting makes their attacks irrelevant unless they are capable of crushing those bases at the top end. If they are capable, and right now, look at how many Town Hall 10s we have. So realistically, any Town Hall 9, because they're at position 8, 9, and lower, any Town Hall 9 should be looking at getting their attacks in, because our top 7, you can just imagine, Gino takes 1 and 2, Stank takes 3 and 4, MJ takes 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all the way down to 14, we can take these cracks at with these guys. So anybody below is basically trying to get above 14 to give Run, Spidey, Beard, Captain, MJ, Stank extra attacks where needed. We know Gino's going to try 1 and 2 first. Maybe Stank has to bump, an extra attack on their number 2 to cover for something that happened with Gino, etc., etc. But realistically, it's the job of those below to work their way up as high as they possibly can to allow the top end bases to have the most number of shots at the tough bases. So there is no need for us to scout. We don't want to worry about scouting for what's in the clan castle unless, again, it could be war specific, it could be attack specific. But if there's stars available on a Town Hall 9, we don't want to have a Town Hall 10 have to drop and clear the Town Hall 9. We should have our Town Hall 9s completely take care of all of the Town Hall 9s and really start pushing into the Town Hall 10s to let people see what's in the clan castle and what's going on. So that's the general thought process behind the structure of the war and why we're trying to do what we do. Attack for 3, attack early, drop as low as you need to get those 3s. Each time you get a 3-star, it saves an attack for someone above you, which is super important. And once we get into, the Town Hall 9s are left and all the Town Hall 8s and 7s, etc. are cleared off, the Town Hall 9s can kind of just pick and choose, depending upon who's left, what's going to be the best attack options for them in the base that they choose. Giving them those options is really going to help. And at the end, we really want to try to prevent, as much as possible anyway, assigning targets to people, because people should have the flexibility to see something within a base that they like and be able to go for it. All right. Welcome to the F, Carl, guys. We are 45 wins and 5 losses in our last 50 wars. So that's a pretty good run. That's for 1 loss and 9 wins, 1 loss and 9 wins on average over that 50. So that's a pretty good stretch for us, and we'd like to keep it going. Everybody can just try to keep their offense ahead of their defense, slow down the upgrades to defenses to make sure that their offense is in line. Once their offense is up, then okay, start bringing along that defense to make sure that you can take care of some of the attacks that come your way. But it's most important to make sure that you can always attack for 3 stars, at minimum, your own base. And as we just saw with Ronan, he weighs, I think, 64, and he crushed a 69. If that had been 70, it wouldn't have mattered. It wasn't like those walls would have, being all lava, would have saved the day on that base. So good luck. And I'll post more stuff hopefully on Town Hall 10 coming up soon. I've got my queen going up to 31 right now, and that's good. And my barracks are unlocking miners, so I want to get some attacks down, some things to practice, and some stuff to work on, and post some Town Hall 10 videos and go from there. All right, Kaiser Soze, maximum carnage, more to follow.